Welcome, dear friends, to the thrilling conclusion of our spellbinding story, Beyond the Known. Prepare to be astonished as we begin this action-packed conclusion with our brave astronauts, whose fate is at stake. The exciting suspense that lies ahead will have you enthralled. Do not worry if you missed the earlier chapters. Links to catch up on the exciting events that brought us to this crucial point are provided in the video description below. Please subscribe to our channel so you won't miss another story this spine-tingling. The tales continue because of your help. If you enjoyed watching this series, a simple like would be much appreciated, as it will motivate us to write more engrossing stories for you to enjoy. As we go off on this last stage of this amazing voyage, be ready to be mesmerized. Now, without further ado, let the thrilling conclusion unfold before us. Get ready to be enthralled as we embark on this final leg of this extraordinary journey. Let the suspense begin.
Unfathomable entities, previously distant specks, now haunt our ship with their ghostly presence. This strange reality imprisons us, separating us from Earth. Our revelation weighs on us like crushing darkness, with no way out of the abyss. These beings, whose goals are unknown, are haunting our ship. We are powerless in their phantom prison. Their eldritch force suffocates our optimism. In this dismal world, time is unimportant. We seek the solace of familiar constellations, yet they ridicule our foolish desire. The infinite vacuum swallows our calls for help. We travel the chilly vastness haunted by lost echoes in this cosmic drama of dread. Our ship's walls throb eerily, reverberating through our bones. These mysterious creatures use us as players in their cosmic drama, trapping us in our former comforts. The creatures creep closer, their ghostly forms seeping through this twisted world. Their cold breath on our necks reminds us of our mortality. We are steadfast, courageous, and determined. We're helpless as the creatures approach. We aim to catch and incapacitate these evil monsters using all our resources. Weapons are useless. Shadows dance in the background. Their weight suffocates us. We are stubborn and determined to defend our values. Despite our attempts, the entities prove tough. Their ethereal bodies transcend logic and reason, surviving every strike. They release a ferocious force that shakes this strange realm. We are scarred by this struggle. Their evil persists. Our approaches make them more unstable. Our bodies are exhausted. Doubt whispers in our ears, encouraging us to give in to the overwhelming odds. As time stretches, our perception becomes blurred, and the line between victory and defeat becomes increasingly blurred. We summon every ounce of courage and every last vestige of strength to unleash one final assault. The entities recoil, their ethereal forms faltering under the onslaught of our combined might. Time hangs suspended in an eerie stillness, freezing the very essence of our existence. It is a sensation so unnerving and foreign that it sends shivers crawling up my spine. Abruptly, we find ourselves thrust back into the clutches of these eldritch entities, their realm enveloping us like a suffocating shroud. As the engines falter and the lights flicker into oblivion, a dense darkness descends upon our ship, devouring all traces of light and hope. Commander Anderson, his voice laced with trepidation, implores Engineer Zhang Wei for an explanation, but the air grows heavy with a haunting silence. Zhang Wei, his face a mask of terror, stammers helplessly, unable to comprehend the incomprehensible. They can only muster fragmented words, a chilling revelation that the entities have seized absolute control of our once proud ship. Gathering us together, Anderson's voice trembles with an unsettling mix of urgency and fear. They speak of the imminent danger that looms before us, the impeding manifestation of the entities with their unholy desires. Our hearts pound in our chests, gripped by a primal terror, as we grapple with the knowledge that our fate rests precariously in the grasp of these unearthly beings. In the Stygian darkness, we stand as mere morsels, vulnerable and exposed to the malicious whims of these enigmatic entities. Their intentions shrouded in a cloak of malevolence, they lie in wait, poised to unleash their darkest desires upon our beleaguered souls. The air grows thick with an oppressive anticipation, as if the veil between our reality and their nightmarish realm has grown dangerously thin. Driven to the very edge of our sanity by the relentless pursuit of the entities, we seek refuge in the dimly lit recesses of the ship's central control room. Desperate for respite from the encroaching darkness, we huddle together, our breaths shallow and rapid, our hearts pounding in a frantic rhythm. But our temporary haven is soon shattered by an otherworldly disturbance that rends the air, slicing through the fragile fabric of our sanity. The once familiar hum of the ship's machinery twists and distorts, transforming into a discordant symphony of dissonance. It's as if the very walls reverberate with a primordial resonance, each vibration a disconcerting pulse that permeates our souls. The air grows heavy with an oppressive presence, and our ears strain against the onslaught of unearthly melodies that claw at our senses. The symphony of fear crescendos, reaching a pitch so piercing that it seems to rend the fabric of reality itself. Within the cacophony, we discern spectral whispers, echoes of voices that convey unfathomable sorrow and despair. And then, amidst the tumultuous symphony, the entities reveal themselves. They emerge from the shadows, their forms taking on a shape both ethereal and macabre. Ghastly specters stand before us, their twisted visages contorted with malevolence. Each entity is a grotesque embodiment of terror, a manifestation of nightmares given life. Their eyes, empty voids that pierce the darkness, fixate on us with an intensity that freezes our blood. Their spectral bodies pulse with an otherworldly energy, shifting and undulating like smoky tendrils in perpetual torment. The very air crackles with their presence, an unholy electricity that sends waves of terror cascading through our beings. As the symphony of fear continues its haunting refrain, the entities move with an unnatural grace, hovering just beyond the reach of our trembling fingertips. Their ghostly forms twist and contort, mimicking the motions of an unearthly dance. They glide closer, their movements defying the laws of the physical realm, drawing us deeper into the web of their insidious influence. Within the twisted symphony that engulfs us, we become mere marionettes in their sinister performance. The tendrils of their presence slither into our minds, probing the depths of our fears and amplifying our darkest nightmares until they consume our every thought. We feel our sanity unraveling, fraying like a worn thread, as their spectral chorus of anguish entwines with the fibers of our very being. In this terrifying encounter, we are confronted not only by the entity's ethereal forms, but also by the profound realization that we are hopelessly outmatched. Their spectral symphony reverberates through the corridors of our souls, shattering our resolve and leaving us teetering on the precipice of madness. As the haunting melodies continue their relentless assault, we are left to contemplate our fate, trapped in this unholy symphony of fear. Our senses reel, and our minds teeter on the edge of comprehension. How long can we withstand the cacophony of terror that engulfs us as the entities, their unearthly forms hauntingly beautiful in their malevolence, hold us captive within their spectral embrace? The entities reach out to us through an ethereal connection, their presence invading the depths of our minds. We, the terrified crew, are left bewildered and unable to fathom this eerie phenomenon that defies all rational explanation. Their haunting whispers echo within the recesses of our consciousness, each word a chilling revelation that pierces our very souls. They convey their nature, revealing themselves as ancient beings forged in the crucible of the cosmos. They claim to have detected our feeble presence when our ill-fated ship veered too close to the gravitational clutches of the black hole. It was then, they declare with a sense of foreboding, that they marked us as intruders in their realm. Their ability to project manifestations of themselves became the eerie figures we perceived, our fragile minds attributing them to the hallucinatory effects of the black hole's gravitational grip. Little did we know, they were watching, patiently waiting for our inevitable deviation from the treacherous path. They knew that any deviation would lead us to the abyssal maw of the black hole, a fate too dreadful to fathom. And so it came to pass that, as we strayed from our intended course, they closed in on us, drawn by our newfound status as a novel species. They yearn to study us and unravel the mysteries that lie within our mortal shells. The revelation of their intent, wrapped in an enigmatic aura, sends icy tendrils of fear coursing through our veins, constricting our hearts with a primal dread. As the tension grips our weary souls, Commander Anderson senses the profound unease that permeates the air. His voice quivers, struggling to steady our trembling nerves. We had anticipated challenges on this voyage and prepared for the trials that awaited us in the depths of space, but nothing could have prepared us for this haunting encounter. With each strained word, our commander attempts to bridge the gap between our bewildered minds and the enigmatic entities that hold us captive. He beseeches them for an explanation, a plea for release from their spectral grasp. But his pleas are met with an eerie silence, stretching into the darkness like an endless void. Suddenly, one of the entities, driven by an inscrutable motive, assumes a form beyond comprehension. It morphs into a shape that defies the boundaries of our mortal understanding, a hybrid existence that straddles the realms of shadow and beast. It stands before us as an abomination of form, emanating an unsettling aura that seeps into the very core of our beings. In a chilling mental projection, the entity's voice infiltrates our thoughts, its words echoing through the chambers of our minds. It speaks of an inexplicable fascination with the intricacies of our existence, the way we navigate life, and the tools of survival. Our technology, our methods of propagation, these confound and enthrall them in equal measure. The entity's cryptic message takes hold, freezing the blood in our veins. We are to be their captives, ensnared in this dimension until they have pried open the depths of our being, unraveling the secrets of our origin, reproduction, and beyond. The weight of their relentless curiosity presses upon us, a suffocating grip that signals an unknown fate, a destiny entwined with their inscrutable agenda. Commander Anderson, though shaken to his core, valiantly attempts to negotiate and reason with these incomprehensible entities that straddle the boundaries of our reality. His voice quavers, an echo of our collective trepidation, as he implores them for mercy and for a glimpse of understanding. But our pleas are met only with a haunting stillness, a silence that hangs in the air like a shroud of impending doom. Forces that are incomprehensible to mortals have trapped and ensnared us. Our minds teeter on the precipice of terror as we confront the unfathomable nature of these spectral captors. With every passing moment, the walls of our perceived reality crumble, giving way to a foreboding unknown. In this macabre dance between captor and captive, we find ourselves at the mercy of entities whose motivations remain shrouded in darkness. We are left to navigate the uncharted depths of their insatiable curiosity, uncertain of what lies ahead. Will we succumb to their relentless pursuit of knowledge or rise above the shadows that ensnare us, reclaiming our autonomy in this unholy pact? Only time will reveal the chilling fate that awaits us in this dimension of enigmatic torment. As the vice-like grip of captivity tightened around our souls, we found ourselves trapped within an otherworldly nightmare. The entities, with their inscrutable motives shrouded in darkness, unleashed their diabolical influence upon us. It started subtly, like a whisper in the wind, as each member of our crew succumbed to an unholy possession, their very essence usurped by these malevolent interlopers. Commander Anderson, the stalwart leader of our expedition, bore the weight of this spectral torment on his shoulders. His once commanding presence wavered as the entity's influence seeped into his being. His voice, once resolute, now trembled with an otherworldly resonance. Engineer Zhang Wei, with his ever-resourceful and logical mind, too fell victim to their sinister grasp. The glint of determination in his eyes had dimmed, replaced by an unsettling vacancy. I could feel an eerie presence creeping within me, an unsettling force that distorted my thoughts and corroded my sense of self. A pall of despair settled upon me, suffocating my every breath. The crew members around me, including Lieutenant Reynolds and Dr. Ramirez, wore haunted expressions, their eyes mirroring the torment that now consumed them. With each passing day, the possession intensified, as if the entities reveled in the macabre dance of their dominance over our mortal shells. We became mere ships, conduits through which they experienced the intricacies of our existence. Our personalities, once steadfast and resolute, were marred by sinister alterations. The gentle Lieutenant Reynolds turned belligerent, his eyes ablaze with an unhinged rage. Dr. Ramirez, once a beacon of rationality, now harbored a cruel sadism that sent shivers down our spines. In the grip of this infernal possession, we were no longer masters of our own bodies, but pawns in the entity's twisted game. The sensations we experienced, the touch of cold steel, the searing pain of desperation, became their playground, a sinister amusement to satiate their insatiable curiosity. We were mere puppets, manipulated by their malevolent strings, trapped in a grotesque theater of torment. But amidst the darkness, a flicker of awareness began to ignite within our beleaguered souls. We, the tormented crew, realized the entity's insidious intentions. They yearned to taste the spectrum of human experience and revel in the sensations that coursed through our veins. Their relentless pursuit of knowledge drove them to possess us and grasp the essence of our being. Commander Anderson, though burdened by their influence, bore the weight of leadership with a grim determination. His voice, tainted by their presence, echoed with a haunting resonance as he rallied our fractured spirits. Engineer Zhang Wei, too, fought valiantly against the entity's hold, his mind racing to find a means of liberation. A collective defiance simmered within our shattered spirits. We, the remnants of what once was, rallied our fractured wills and sought a means to break free from their suffocating grasp. With each passing moment, we resisted their influence and clung onto the slivers of our true selves that remained. As Commander Anderson, Engineer Zhang Wei, and the rest of our beleaguered crew forged a silent pact amidst the shadows, we vowed to reclaim our autonomy. With every ounce of strength we possessed, we fought back against the entity's dominion. We summoned the fragments of our fading humanity, mustering a resistance against the cruel invasion of our bodies and minds. In the depths of our shared agony, we discovered a glimmer of hope. Through whispered conversations in secret corners, we devised a plan to turn the tide against our spectral tormentors. But we were naive, foolishly believing that our whispered plans could escape the notice of the malevolent entities. In the suffocating grip of their influence, our thoughts were swiftly ensnared and torn apart before they could materialize into actions. Our feeble attempts at rebellion were quashed with eerie precision, for these otherworldly beings possessed an intelligence far beyond our comprehension. They anticipated our every move, their spectral tendrils choking the life out of our escape attempts. The possessions persisted, their hold over us unrelenting, as if time itself had conspired against our salvation. Our bodies, once ships of vitality, are now withered husks drained of all energy. Despair clung to our weary souls, intertwining with the very fabric of our existence. The dim flicker of hope that had sustained us was extinguished, replaced by an overwhelming sense of resignation. We, the haunted crew, stumbled through the desolate corridors of our ship, our movements sluggish and unsteady. The air grew heavy with a palpable malevolence, a suffocating miasma that mirrored the depths of our despair. Our eyes, once vibrant with determination, now mirrored the empty void within. Commander Anderson, whose voice was but a hollow echo of his former self, attempted to rally our fractured spirits. But his words fell on deaf ears, swallowed by the abyss of our despair. Engineer Zhang Wei, once a beacon of resilience, appeared as a mere shell, drained of the ingenuity that had defined him. Each passing moment was a macabre dance with the unknown as the entities reveled in our suffering. They fed on our fear and nourished themselves on the remnants of our shattered hopes. Their presence permeated every inch of our ship, their spectral forms intertwining with our very essence. We were bound to them, trapped within this unholy communion of torment. Darkness became our constant companion, obscuring our path and clouding our thoughts. The entities, their unseen presence lurking just beyond the veil of perception, relished in our feeble attempts to resist. Their intelligence surpassed our comprehension, and their malevolence cut through the fabric of our existence. With each passing day, our bodies grew weaker, and our spirits were further eroded by the relentless onslaught of their possession. The essence of who we once were seemed but a distant memory, overshadowed by the omnipresent influence of these insidious entities. All hope of escape dwindled like a dying ember, leaving only the cold embrace of resignation in its wake. In the desolate silence of our captivity, we were left to ponder our grim fate. The crew, once united in purpose and resolve, is now fragmented and adrift in the sea of despair. Our souls, tattered and torn, yearn for release from this spectral purgatory. But the entities, with their wicked intelligence and boundless malevolence, held us in their unyielding grip, ensuring that our suffering would know no end. The entities possess intimate knowledge of our deteriorating physical state, exploiting our very essence with their diabolical experiments. Each possession drains us to the brink of exhaustion, reducing us to mere lifeless ships manipulated by their unseen hands. We are no longer masters of our own destinies, but mere pawns in their twisted game. In a moment of profound weariness, I collapse, my body surrendering to the cold, unforgiving floor of the ship. Time loses all meaning in this nightmarish existence as I lie there, a mere shell of my former self. Hunger gnaws at my insides, a constant reminder of the deprivation we have endured. We have not known sustenance or rest since our entrapment within the clutches of these malevolent entities. My strength wanes, and my body trembles with the weight of exhaustion. The anticipation of the next possession, the moment when their ethereal grip tightens once more, engulfs me with terror. It is a nightmarish cycle, a never-ending torment that erodes my sanity. Doubt creeps in, and I question my decision to embark on this ill-fated mission. Regret seeps into every fiber of my being as I realize that Earth is forever lost to me, a distant memory left behind. The thoughts of my family and friends haunt my mind, their faces fading like ghosts in the ethereal mist. I will never embrace them again and never share another moment of joy or sorrow with them. The weight of this realization bears down upon me, threatening to shatter the fragile facade of strength I cling to. Tears threaten to spill from my weary eyes, but I dare not show weakness in this climactic moment. It is a battle waged not only in the physical realm, but also in the recesses of my tormented soul. Yet even in this darkest hour, I cannot escape the notion that the entities scrutinize my very thoughts. The fear of their relentless analysis gnaws at my sanity, driving me to seek solace in a blank mind. But the void cannot be embraced, for my mind remains a battlefield of fears and regrets. We are trapped, ensnared in a web of despair, with no glimmer of hope or escape in sight. Desperation claws at my spirit as I confront the harsh reality that no solution awaits us. Our fates are sealed within the clutches of these nefarious entities. In the face of this grim realization, we are left to wither in the twilight of our existence, tormented souls forever bound in an eternal dance of suffering. I survey the dimly lit surroundings, my eyes falling upon my fellow companions strewn across the floor, their bodies drained of strength, mirroring my own wretched state. A surge of anguish grips my heart as I witness their suffering, unable to offer solace or aid. Commander Anderson's voice drifts towards me, his words a muffled echo lost in the depths of my weariness. I long to understand his pleas and to draw nearer, but the feebleness that shackles my limbs denies me such proximity. Engineer Zhang Wei lies in a state of complete unconsciousness, lost to the realms of awareness, while Doctors Reynolds and Ramirez sprawl motionless at the far end of the ship, their life forces reduced to feeble flickers. Amidst this eerie stillness, Commander Anderson's presence looms once more, his attempts to communicate thwarted by my own weakened senses. Yet his eyes bear a silent message, a plea for me to direct my gaze towards the ship's controls. As my eyes follow his unspoken command, I am drawn to the blinking light of the ship's battery recharge sensor. A glimmer of understanding pierces the haze of despair that engulfs my mind. The erratic blinking signals proximity to an interstellar light source, a beacon of hope amidst the suffocating darkness. A surge of realization courses through my veins, and I comprehend the essence of Commander Anderson's message. Yet a gnawing fear clutches at me, urging me to blank my thoughts, for the entities are masters of mental invasion. Their omniscient presence looms, ever watchful, ever probing. But amidst this dread, a flicker of insight emerges. A realization that within the confines of our desolate existence, our eyes possess the power of communication, a primal, unspoken language beyond the reach of the entity's intrusion. With renewed resolve, I meet Commander Anderson's gaze, our eyes locked in a silent exchange of understanding. A glimmer of hope flickers within us, a whisper of unity that transcends the malevolent grasp of our captors. Through this newfound connection, we forge a tenuous thread of shared purpose, a respite from the entity's omnipotent reach. In this realm of silent communion, we navigate the treacherous landscape of our thoughts, sharing secrets and plans unbeknownst to our captors. It is a delicate dance, a dance of whispered intent, where every gesture and glance carries the weight of our desperation and determination. And so, as the entities remain unaware of our clandestine connection, we cling to this sliver of resistance, silently orchestrating a rebellion within the depths of our souls. In this dance of unspoken words, we find solace, for in the darkest of nights, even the faintest glimmers of defiance become beacons of defiance and hope. As the flickering glimmer of hope illuminates my weary soul, I realize that Commander Anderson shares my newfound revelation. Yet our task now lies in conveying this ethereal understanding to our disoriented comrades. Time slithers by, dragging its spectral tendrils through the stagnant air, as my fellow crew members gradually awaken from their torpor. In silent communion, we exchange knowing glances, sensing the weight of our shared revelation. Commander Anderson, having regained his strength, cautiously probes the state of our collective well-being. A silent agreement passes between us, acknowledging the necessity of secrecy. With a subtle gesture, he presses a finger to his lips, a chilling reminder to withhold our words. But before our unity can fully solidify, a presence materializes, a grotesque entity, ethereal and menacing. Its voice, a haunting echo in the recesses of our minds, reverberates through our very being. We have tasted sensations through you, sensations that defy our comprehension, it utters with a tone devoid of empathy. We shall continue our investigations, and you shall remain our unwilling guests. Fear not, for we have momentarily suspended our malevolence, for we wish not to inflict further harm upon you. Be aware, for we possess the ability to delve into the labyrinthine corridors of your thoughts. Every action, every whisper, shall be laid bare before our omnipresent gaze. With a final, chilling statement, the entity dissolves into the abyss from whence it emerged. Each of us feels profoundly helpless as a result of its departure, leaving us adrift in a sea of desolation. We are but mere pawns in the clutches of these insidious beings, forever ensnared within their web of darkness. Despite the suffocating grip of our captors, a glimmer of possibility emerges within the depths of our despair. As we navigate the treacherous landscape of our entrapment, a flicker of hope ignites in our hearts, a means of communication, elusive yet tantalizingly within reach. In the midst of our shared confinement, we discover an otherworldly connection that defies the entity's prying grasp. It is as if our thoughts, like ethereal tendrils, intertwine in a clandestine dance. Through subtle gestures, meaningful gazes, and unspoken understanding, we weave a fragile tapestry of communication that transcends the bounds of their malevolent influence. A knowing glance from Commander Anderson signals caution, a silent plea for discretion. We acknowledge his unspoken directive, our eyes conveying solidarity amidst the sea of darkness. Each nuanced movement and cryptic expression becomes a language of its own, a cryptic code forged in the crucible of our captivity. Whispers of thoughts, shielded from the entity's insidious scrutiny, are shared through our unspoken bond. A tilt of the head, a subtle shift in posture, or a fleeting touch convey messages that only we can decipher. In this silent symphony, our unity grows stronger, and our collective will is fortified against the encroaching shadows. Through this spectral connection, we find solace in knowing that we are not alone in our struggle. A shared sense of purpose permeates the air, binding us together in an unbreakable bond. While the entities may eavesdrop on our spoken words, they remain oblivious to the intimate language that courses through our interconnected minds. In this dim realm of captivity, our whispers of unity and silent exchanges become the lifeblood of our resistance. We harness the power of our unspoken communion, utilizing it as a lifeline to navigate the treacherous depths of our entanglement. It is through this hidden network of understanding that we find solace, strength, and flickering embers of hope in our quest for liberation. The air thickened with tension as we exchanged furtive glances, desperately seeking a glimmer of hope in the suffocating darkness. Our collective gaze fell upon Dr. Ramirez, her face etched with determination. She reached for a piece of paper, the faint rustling echoing through the stillness of our enclosure. Our commander, Anderson, approached her with cautious anticipation, his eyes locked on the cryptic message that was about to unfold. In hushed silence, Dr. Ramirez's pen gracefully danced across the paper's surface, etching an enigmatic sequence of letters. The weight of her revelation hung heavy in the air as she turned the paper towards us, revealing a single word, indigo. We scrutinized the word, our minds racing to unravel its hidden meaning. It was a fragment of a prefabricated language, designed in the early 1800s to unify humanity but long abandoned in the annals of history. A flicker of realization sparked within our collective consciousness. We were no strangers to the art of deception, honed through relentless training and clandestine maneuvers. The notion of employing coded language to outsmart our adversaries had been ingrained in our very core. Could it be that the same strategy could deceive the insidious entities that held us captive? The gravity of the situation weighed on us, yet a flicker of audacity ignited within our hearts. Commander Anderson seized another piece of paper, his hand trembling slightly as he penned the words, paroli. The word hung before us like a fragile lifeline, the embodiment of a daring plan taking shape. With bated breath, we awaited the next move, our hope teetering on the precipice of uncertainty. In this macabre dance of wits, the commander's message set our minds ablaze. We understood the significance. The entities, formidable as they may be, could fall victim to the cunning ruse we were about to deploy. Swiftly, we seized upon the opportunity, seizing the tools of deception to unveil our gambit. On another sheet of paper, Commander Anderson inscribed the words "Ni provu," a subtle declaration of our intent to deceive. As the ink dried, a palpable tension swirled around us. A surge of adrenaline coursed through our veins, intertwining with the tendrils of anticipation. With a shared glance, we knew that the die had been cast. The coded message became our secret weapon, a whispered promise of liberation. In the midst of uncertainty and peril, we clung to the fragile hope that our plan would confound the entities, catching them off guard in the labyrinth of their own malevolence. Our resolve was solidified, fortified by the power of coded words. In this eerie realm of captivity, where every breath held the weight of our liberation, we awaited the moment where our cryptic message would unveil its true impact, shattering the illusion of their control. Suddenly, our engineer, Zhang Wei, convulses inexplicably and unleashes a torrent of unintelligible screams. We rush to his side, desperately trying to make sense of the unfathomable horror unfolding before us. Dr. Reynolds declares, her voice trembling, Zhang Wei is being possessed once more by the entities. Dear God! Our torment begins anew, and my heart aches for Zhang Wei, for there seems to be no respite or salvation for him. He writes on the floor, his body contorting in an epileptic frenzy, as Dr. Reynolds hurriedly searches for an antispasmodic medication. As she tends to Zhang Wei, our commander, Anderson, becomes the next target of the encroaching malevolence. Fear grips us, with an overwhelming sense of powerlessness enveloping our very souls. We are paralyzed by terror, for we do not know who will be consumed by the entity's merciless assault next. If we do not act swiftly, if we do not find a way to thwart this relentless onslaught, our doom is all but assured. We bear witness to this grotesque spectacle, our souls rendered helpless against the unfolding horror. Dr. Ramirez, her voice laced with an otherworldly urgency, implores me, Captain Mitchell, prepare the ship's cauldron at once. Dr. Reynolds, her eyes ablaze with an unearthly fervor, adds, the liquid within has reached its scalding point. I am confounded by their peculiar requests, as they beckon me to tend to something so trivial amidst this mounting turmoil. Captain Mitchell, heed my command. Dr. Ramirez's voice resonates with an undercurrent of urgency. And then it dawns on me, within mere seconds, the message becomes clear. Their words are a hidden language, a code meant to convey vital information. The cauldron symbolizes the ship, and the scalding liquid represents the fully charged batteries. With a subtle nod, I acknowledge their covert communication, responding, very well, but take heed, for the scalding liquid can inflict grave burns upon contact. As Anderson and Zhang Wei writhe in torment upon the floor, I stealthily approach the ship's controls, a surge of determination coursing through my veins. But where shall I direct this ship of despair? I must shield my thoughts from the omniscient entities, lest they detect my intentions. However, before I can formulate a plan, Dr. Ramirez collapses to the ground, convulsing in anguish. Sweet mercy. Time dwindles rapidly, leaving me with a pressing urgency to take action, any action that might salvage our waning hope. Dr. Reynolds knows that at any given moment, one of us will succumb to the clutches of the entities. The impending possession hangs over us like a dark cloud, and in that tense moment, she seizes a scrap of paper and hastily scrawls a cryptic message in Esperanto. With a sense of urgency, she thrusts the message before me: go to the black hole. Without a moment's hesitation, I take control of the ship, my hands trembling as I set the course and throttle to their maximum, hurtling us towards the dreaded black hole. The ship quakes violently, jolting us mercilessly against the back wall of the control room. A searing pain lances through my head as it collides with a surface, momentarily disorienting me. Dr. Reynolds and the others lie sprawled nearby, their forms a testament to the force of the impact. Amidst the chaos, I notice that Commander Anderson and Zhang Wei lie motionless, unconscious, while Dr. Ramirez and Dr. Reynolds remain conscious, their eyes filled with a mixture of concern and determination. An overwhelming heaviness and a dizzying sensation press upon me as we get closer to the black hole's gravitational pull. Amidst the haze, I catch a faint glimpse of Dr. Reynolds swiftly maneuvering towards the controls, activating the ship's anti-gravity shield in a desperate bid to counteract the immense forces at play. Gradually, my senses return, and I regain clarity of mind. Approaching me with a sense of urgency, Dr. Reynolds leans in and speaks directly to me, her voice laced with both relief and urgency. "Is Mitchell all right?" she inquires. I muster a shaky response. "Yes, Doctor, but what just happened?" Her grip on the controls tightens, and there is a flicker of determination in her eyes as she gestures for me to assume control while promising to explain the events later. Amidst the whirlwind of events, a chilling realization grips me. I haven't sensed the presence of the entities. Could it be possible that we have managed to leave them behind? A surge of hope flickers within me as I cast a cautious glance over my shoulder. Dr. Ramirez and Dr. Reynolds are tending to Commander Anderson and Engineer Zhang Wei, and to my relief, I observe them gradually regaining consciousness. It dawns on me that we may have broken free from the clutches of the entities that tormented us. Commander Anderson and Zhang Wei cast us grateful glances, their eyes brimming with a mix of relief and gratitude. Dr. Ramirez, ever vigilant, listens intently to the ship with her specialized device, designed to detect any energy fluctuations. With a hint of optimism in her voice, she declares, "It appears that we have liberated ourselves from the entities." We exchange glances, a collective sense of relief washing over us. Dr. Reynolds interjects, shedding light on the phenomenon. The entities cannot withstand the immense gravitational forces near the black hole. That's why they refrained from approaching us. However, once we passed through the wormhole, entering a different dimension, they reappeared. Dr. Ramirez confirms this revelation, as her energy detector now registers no signs of their presence. A wave of joy sweeps through our ranks, but our elation is short-lived. Commander Anderson's voice reverberates with gravity, breaking the momentary silence. "We haven't escaped danger just yet." We exchange puzzled glances, silently urging him to explain. Commander Anderson proceeds to enlighten us, his words tinged with a somber tone. "We must navigate away from the influence of the black hole, retracing our steps along the same path we traversed. Rest assured, the entities will be lying in wait for us once again." Anderson's words strike a chord, shattering our fleeting sense of relief. The nightmare is far from over. However, Dr. Ramirez interjects, injecting a glimmer of hope into the discussion. "Indeed, Commander. But now we possess knowledge of what we face, granting us the opportunity to prepare ourselves and avoid falling into their clutches once more." Her words resonate, igniting a spark of determination within each of us. Though the perils ahead loom ominously, we now possess the power of awareness, a chance to steel ourselves against the impending threat. Commander Anderson gathered us all. The weight of our predicament was palpable in the air. We huddled together, minds racing, as we dissected the situation with an unwavering determination to find a way back home. Our journey thus far has been a monumental achievement, not just for ourselves, but for all of humanity. The knowledge we had amassed during our expedition held immeasurable value for future missions. However, all our progress would amount to naught if we failed to return to Earth. Our only path lay in confronting the entities once more, braving the fear that clawed at our souls. Desperation seeped into our thoughts, knowing there was no other viable option. Amidst our deliberations on devising the best strategy for our return, Engineer Zhang Wei's voice cut through the tense silence. Those entities possess a level of intelligence that surpasses our comprehension. They can penetrate our minds, leaving us vulnerable. The odds of overcoming them seem dismally low, Zhang Wei murmured, his words hanging heavy in the room. Dr. Reynolds and Dr. Ramirez nodded in agreement, their expressions mirroring a deep-rooted concern. Commander Anderson mulled over these observations, a heavy burden weighing on his shoulders. After what felt like an eternity, he broke the silence, his voice laced with steely resolve. Zhang Wei, when we approach the wormhole, it is highly probable that the entities will draw near, seeking to abduct us once again. Zhang Wei's eyes met the commander's, understanding passing between them. That's correct, Commander, he responded, his voice tinged with resignation. Commander Anderson's gaze shifted, encompassing us all in its unwavering intensity. Here's what we'll do, he announced, his words commanding our full attention. When that moment arrives, Mitchell will push the engines to full throttle and maneuver the ship towards the gravitational field of the black hole. We'll entice the entities into its clutches, relying on the overwhelming gravitational forces to do the rest. A collective sense of comprehension swept through our ranks, glimmers of hope flickering in our eyes. We nodded in unison, acknowledging that this was our sole recourse. The gravity of the decision hung heavy upon us, a weight that threatened to suffocate our spirits. Yet, in that shared moment of acceptance, we found solace. There was no other choice but to embrace this daring plan, to defy the odds, and to cling to a sliver of hope. We locked eyes with one another, silently conveying our commitment to the task ahead. The die had been cast, and we would face the entities head-on, trusting in the ominous embrace of the black hole's gravitational pull. It was a high-stakes gamble, one that held the promise of our salvation or our demise. The atmosphere in the room grew tense as we commenced our preparations, following Commander Anderson's meticulous instructions. Dr. Reynolds and Dr. Ramirez took charge, divulging words and codes in the ancient language of Esperanto, should the need for covert communication arise. Meanwhile, Zhang Wei meticulously inspected the engines and controls, ensuring their flawless operation. His gaze then shifted to the ship's energy change sensors, scanning for any flicker of an anomaly. Fear gripped each of us, its icy tendrils threatening to betray our resolve. Yet we concealed our apprehension, unwilling to sow seeds of doubt. We understood that this was our sole chance to escape this dimension and reunite with our beloved planet Earth. The hour of reckoning loomed upon us, a daunting precipice awaiting our plunge. Commander Anderson rallied our spirits with a resolute voice, his words cutting through the suffocating silence. Colleagues, he began, his gaze steady, I am well aware of the trepidation that courses through our veins. But our hope must transcend our fears. Let us summon every ounce of positivity, faith, and unwavering conviction. Together, we shall overcome. In unison, we nodded, drawing strength from the shared camaraderie. Embracing one another, we exchanged heartfelt encouragements, nurturing the flickering flame of determination within our hearts. With the ship's course fixed and the engines ignited, we propelled ourselves forward, hurtling towards the inevitable rendezvous with the entities that had haunted our every step. The vast expanse of the unknown awaited us, with its secrets and perils intertwined. Each throb of the ship's propulsion system echoed with a sense of purpose, mingling with the pulsating beats of our racing hearts. The moment had arrived, and there was no turning back. As we embarked on this treacherous path, hope and resolve became our guiding stars, illuminating the vast expanse of uncertainty that lay ahead. As our radar indicated our proximity to the ominous wormhole, an unsettling transformation seized our bodies once again. A symphony of discomfort enveloped us as headaches gnawed at our temples, weariness claimed our limbs, and vertigo danced in our senses. A chilling sense of déjà vu gripped us as the ethereal apparitions of the entities re-emerged, haunting our fragile existence. Zhang Wei's voice cut through the tense air, reporting to Commander Anderson that the energy change sensors flickered erratically, signaling the imminent approach of the entities. Our nerves strained to their breaking point, but we dared not falter. The plan outlined by our commander was our only beacon of hope amidst this enveloping darkness. With each passing moment, the sensors pulsed with greater frequency, an alarming cadence that mirrored the quickening of our pulses. The ambient temperature plummeted, gnawing at our skin, while eerie shadows devoured the flickering lights within the cabin. It was a haunting spectacle, a prelude to the imminent confrontation. Sensing the gravity of the situation, Commander Anderson's voice pierced through the palpable tension, calling my attention to his words. "Mitchell," he uttered with commanding authority, "heed my every command." "Yes, my commander," I replied, my voice steady, concealing the anxiety that thrummed within. Dr. Reynolds, her voice laced with solemnity, addressed us all. "Comrades," she declared, "from this moment onward, we shall speak only when necessary, and when we do, it shall be in the clandestine whispers of Esperanto." We exchanged resolute nods, understanding the gravity of maintaining our silence. Each word held potential consequences, for even the faintest utterance could betray our presence to the entities that lurked in the shadows. In this silent pact, we found solace, bound by our shared determination to defy the encroaching darkness that threatened to consume us. As the ship teetered on the precipice of the entity's realm, a sinister realization seized my consciousness. The engines, our lifeline on this treacherous journey, began to falter, their power diminishing to perilous levels. Panic welled within me, but I could not succumb to its suffocating grip. Through a series of urgent gestures, I conveyed the dire situation to Commander Anderson, hoping he would understand the gravity of our predicament. His eyes locked onto mine, a silent exchange that spoke volumes. He nodded, his resolute gaze urging me to press on. Amidst the encroaching darkness, my trembling hands clung to the helm, my heart pounding against my ribcage. The ship's path was charted, and I dared not waver. Although peril loomed as we drew dangerously close to the entities, a glimmer of hope burned within our collective resolve. We were retracing our escape route, inching closer to freedom, and that flicker of motivation spurred us onward, defying the tendrils of fear that threatened to ensnare us all. Dr. Reynolds, her face etched with determination, meticulously monitored the energy sensors, her movements punctuated by urgent signs, and said, "Commander, the entities are already among us." The weight of her silent message struck Commander Anderson like a bolt of lightning. With a voice that pierced the air, he bellowed, "Mitchell, alter course toward the gravitational pull of the black hole, now." The urgency in his voice ignited a primal instinct within me, overriding my trembling limbs. Without hesitation, I steered the ship in alignment with his command, my grip on the controls tightening. The command reverberated through the ship, penetrating the deafening silence that enveloped us. "Zhang Wei!" Anderson's voice thundered, commanding attention. "Engage the reserve engines immediately." The urgency propelled Zhang Wei into action, his nimble fingers dancing across the controls. In a heartbeat, the ship lurched, veering sharply, hurtling towards the gaping maw of the gravitational field. In our desperate gambit for survival, we dragged the entities clinging to the ship's hull into the inescapable clutches of the black hole's embrace. Adrenaline surged through our veins as we braced ourselves for the tumultuous encounter that awaited us. The ship hurtled onward, our fates entwined with the relentless pull of the black hole's gravity. An unexplainable surge of energy propels the Infinity Voyager as it hurtles through the abyss. It defies reason, leaving me to question what modifications Zhang Wei had wrought upon the engines. But as my thoughts wander, a wave of terror crashes upon us, seizing Commander Anderson, Dr. Reynolds, and Dr. Ramirez in convulsive fits. Panic tightens its icy grip around my heart, suffocating reason itself. Amidst the chaos, Zhang Wei's voice pierces the air, commanding me to accelerate to the utmost limit. It's a suicidal order, a desperate gambit. Yet, trapped within this nightmarish reality, there is no path but forward. The entities have claimed our comrades. Their malevolent grip is unrelenting. Clutching the controls, I heed Zhang Wei's plea, increasing the speed to its maximum threshold. The ship quivers under the strain, protesting against this reckless advance. Zhang Wei's words slice through the disorienting turmoil, sharp as a surgeon's knife. "Mitchell, disable the anti-gravity shield, now!" The request reverberates within my mind as a sinister ultimatum. Doubt and dread intertwine, a gnarled knot constricting my thoughts. How could I comply? Yet Zhang Wei's voice takes on a desperate edge, his words piercing my very soul. "Mitchell, I implore you, do it now." With trepidation, I grasp the controls, shutting my eyes in a final act of resignation. I deactivate the shield, surrendering our ship to the gravitational maw of the voracious black hole. In an instant, an overwhelming weight presses upon my body, as if the universe itself conspires to crush me into oblivion. Lethargy seeps through my veins, a creeping numbness that devours my consciousness. Time dilates, stretching out like an eternity. My vision dims, succumbing to the encroaching darkness. Yet, in this twilight realm, I discern the sinister figures, the very embodiment of the entities, converging upon Zhang Wei. They writhe and contort in a frantic frenzy, their grotesque forms convulsing as if in the throes of desperation. In a macabre dance, they are inexorably drawn towards the ship's walls, as if being devoured by some unseen force. My eyes widen as I witness their ethereal bodies pass through solid matter, vanishing into the void beyond. Through the visors that separate us from the unforgiving expanse of space, I behold their agonizing fate, a violent, merciless pull towards the irresistible gravitational field of the black hole. They are torn away from our ship with a ferocity that obliterates them into the vastness of nothingness. Barely clinging to a thread of awareness, I witness Zhang Wei lunging towards the controls. Then, in a surge of unfathomable force, I am jolted back to consciousness. The seconds lost to me remain shrouded in mystery, a void I cannot fathom. I survey my surroundings, seeing Zhang Wei sprawled upon the floor while Commander Anderson and Doctors Reynolds and Ramirez slowly regain composure in their seats. Amidst the palpable relief, I rise from my station, rushing to aid Zhang Wei, breathing life back into him. Gratitude gleams in his eyes as he murmurs, "Mitchell, it is finally over. We are liberated from the clutches of the entities." In the aftermath of that harrowing ordeal, a wave of relief washes over us as we cling to each other, seeking solace from the trauma we have endured. Yet, amidst our shared embrace, a nagging sense of bewilderment lingers in the air. I turn to Zhang Wei, my voice quivering, and implore him to shed light on the events that transpired. With a heavy breath, Zhang Wei begins to recount the chilling details, each word weaving a tapestry of terror in our minds. As Dr. Reynolds warned us of the entity's infiltration, we knew it was only a matter of time before they manifested within one of us. Zhang Wei's voice trembles as he relives the memory. So, according to our plan, we approached the gravitational field of the black hole, drawing near to its treacherous allure. And when the moment arrived, as the entities took hold of our comrades, we executed our desperate strategy. I deactivated the ship's anti-gravity shield, exposing us to the relentless pull of the black hole's gravitational forces. A collective gasp escapes our lips as Zhang Wei's revelation sinks in. The calculated risk we took, sacrificing our safety for a chance at liberation, becomes clear. Zhang Wei continues, his voice strained with determination. In those crucial final moments, a chilling spectacle unfolded before my eyes. The entities, devoid of physical mass like us, contorted and writhed in a desperate frenzy. They slithered through the very walls of our ship, drawn inexorably towards the unforgiving void of outer space. As their spectral forms were mercilessly whisked away, I mustered every ounce of my fading strength, knowing the pivotal role I had to play. Summoning a reserve of resolve I never knew I possessed, I focused my energy on a single task, the reactivation of the ship's anti-gravity shield. It was a race against time, a desperate struggle against the abyss that threatened to consume us all. With trembling hands and a heart pounding with determination, I restored the shield's protective embrace. A collective sigh of relief swept through our beleaguered group as the shield hummed back to life, reclaiming its role as our stalwart guardian against the black hole's menacing clutches. At that precise moment, a fresh glimmer of hope replaced the weight of the world on our shoulders. Whispers of the crew's cosmic odyssey echo through the annals of time, weaving themselves into the fabric of legends and lore. Their harrowing journey, etched upon the collective consciousness of humanity, becomes a haunting reminder of the indomitable spirit that propels us forward. Generations pass, and the legacy of the Infinity Voyager crew reverberates across the ages, an eternal flame illuminating the path of those who dare to dream. Their tale becomes a beacon of inspiration, igniting the imaginations of future explorers, scientists, and visionaries. From the ashes of their harrowing encounter, humanity rises, thirsting for knowledge and driven by an insatiable curiosity. The once unfathomable mysteries of the cosmos now lie within our grasp as the boundaries of human understanding are pushed further than ever before. The success of the Infinity Voyager serves as a catalyst for a new era of exploration, where daring individuals explore uncharted regions of space under the unyielding spirit of their forebears. Their journeys carve new pathways through the celestial tapestry, unearthing wonders and unraveling enigmas that once seemed beyond reach. As the eons pass, the crew's names become etched in starlight, forever immortalized in the constellations that adorn the night sky. Their names were whispered with reverence, and their stories were passed down through generations, shaping the dreams and aspirations of those who gazed upward. Humanity's understanding of the universe expands exponentially, unveiling truths that were once shrouded in cosmic enigma. With each revelation, the crew's legacy grows stronger, a testament to the boundless potential that resides within the human spirit. The echoes of their cosmic journey resonate in the halls of academia, where scholars delve into the records and logs left behind by the Infinity Voyager crew. They dissect their triumphs, their struggles, and the sacrifices made in the name of knowledge and the greater good. And so, the Infinity Voyager crew's odyssey lives on, an everlasting testament to the audacity of the human spirit. Their story serves as a reminder to future generations to embrace the unknown, to forge ahead in the face of adversity, and to never stop reaching for the stars. For within the depths of the cosmos, the secrets of the universe lie waiting, beckoning to those brave enough to seek them. And as humanity continues to push the boundaries of its own existence, the legacy of the Infinity Voyager crew remains a guiding light, illuminating the infinite possibilities that lie within our grasp. In the end, it is not just the triumphs or the discoveries that define us, but the unwavering spirit to explore, to question, and to embrace the mysteries that lie beyond. And so, the crew's cosmic odyssey becomes etched into eternity, forever reminding us that our destiny is intertwined with the enigmatic cosmos and propelling us toward a future where humanity takes its rightful place among the stars.
The conclusion has finally come as we emerge from the gloomy depths of Beyond the Known, our terrifying voyage. Take the invitation to subscribe and join us for more enigmatic and spine-tingling tales of the bizarre journey we've been on as you gripped and on the edge of your seat. We make a commitment to keep your heart pounding, your nerves jangling, and your worries alive. Please take a minute to collect your breath before our following film, which will send you even farther into the abyss. Get ready to spend the rest of your life afraid and dangling precariously from your seat. Keep in mind that the night is still dark, but we will be your lighthouse through the night. If this video gave you the chills, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel. Keep checking in while embracing the terrifying hug of the unknown. Thanks for watching.